Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the stream. I'm Robert from the El Magnifico Games channel and today we're going to continue a playthrough of Firmament. So this is the puzzle game from Cyan that we've been playing recently. Jolly good fun. Aside from that crane puzzle, which in fact the crane I happen to be standing on right now, which was very buggy. But other than that, I've very much been enjoying it. Now, if you recall, this was not where we were standing at the end of the last stream. We had made it to the top of the spire, and I remember thinking, well, it's about time I finish up the stream, and I'm going to want a nice screenshot for when I go live next time. So do you know what? I won't finish the spire. I'll finish up standing at the top of the spire, and that's where we'll resume next time. Well, imagine my surprise when I load the autosave, and here we are. Wasn't expecting that, which presents a slight problem. Good evening, Rob. I've just returned home. I hope you've been well. I'm surviving, thank you for asking. I hope you're well. What was I thinking? So yeah, that's really rather suboptimal, actually, because there were some difficult puzzles we had to get through to get into the tower. I'm going to have a quick look and see if there's a easier way in now. If we've perhaps unlocked an easier way in. I would be very surprised if the game hadn't at least saved our progress on those puzzles. So if I do end up finding myself having to do them again, well, if I have to like go in the long way, I suppose is what I mean, I don't expect I'll have to do them again. I suspect our puzzle completion is permanent. So jolly well hope it is. But yeah. I don't know how much Firmament is left. If it turns out that it's not very much, then I have another game prepared. It's the game that several people were requesting. Neyah. I'm not entirely sure how it's pronounced, but it's written Neyyah, I believe. And I've been told it's a rather good Myst clone. So yeah, we have that prepared. I haven't... usually I would at the very least play the intro video when I'm doing sound tests, but on this occasion I didn't. The main menu was loud enough that I just used that for sound tests. So if we do end up getting on to playing that game today, I will be going in completely blind. Even more blind than usual. I have no idea what the game is about. Hey Georgius. Lovely to see you. No Sekiro today, I'm afraid. As I was discussing at the end of last Sekiro's stream, I would be happy to keep like banging my head against that wall. The difficulty isn't a problem, but the low viewership I was getting for Sekiro is. I don't know if that's because I was struggling in the game so much, or if it's unrelated. But I'm tempted to put, or rather my current intention is to put Sekiro on indefinite hiatus. I'm not saying I won't come back to it, but I don't think I can justify going back to Sekiro until, you know, I have a reasonable prospect of consistently more viewers, which is a shame. It's a shame, but it's the sort of decision that, you know, in my position I have to make. I'm going to leave the lurkout, but I am off to attempt to stress my muscles and cause them to release a happy chemical. Ooh, wonderful news. Do you mind if I ask more? Now please, 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 please be completed. No. Hang on. No, this is fine. This is fine. That's what we would expect if this was completed. What I need to know is, do we still have a lift here? No, the lift is gone, but I can walk up here. Oh, please don't make me do this again. I think we're good. I think it's clear the whole way. Oh no. No! Is that it? Am I stuck? Oh, it took so long to complete this and they just dumped me on the outside again when I reloaded the save. Why? And the lift is right there. It's just I don't think this lift has a lever or switch or anything like they usually would in Cyan games to cool it. I'm pretty sure if I could just cool the lift, then we'd be golden. I drank the splashy clear stuff and went under the orange thing today. Just need to do the moving and sweating to complete it, hopefully. But I hope that goes well. Dare I say it, I hope you enjoy yourself. Yep, I think the game has not been very kind to me. If I'm honest. Wait. Hang on, there is a possibility. It's possible that I unlocked the, like, I've forgotten what they call the transportation device, but it's possible I unlocked that station earlier on, such that I can travel back to the inside of the spire that way. Hopefully I did. Let me just find one of the transportation pods, and we'll see if that's unlocked. I would not be enjoying myself, but hopefully the stretching and moving will be helpful. Also, I ate 17 pizza rolls for lunch, and that should not have happened, but I was too lazy to make a salad. I don't know what a pizza roll is. It sounds like a roll that's filled with pizza ingredients, like tomato and like a tomato paste, cheese, and maybe some pepperoni or something. I'm just wondering, where is the nearest transportation pod, because I have actually forgotten. If I haven't unlocked that location, if we're unlucky, then that's going to mean to get back into the spire I am going to have to go back through the puzzle. But the saving grace is the fact that only the very, very end of the puzzle will have to be completed again. 90% of it is already done, so 90% of the pain we will be spared a second time. Do you have the inside of the spire? Alright, I have to open you first, I think. No? Hang on, that's not the right... No, that is a conveyance pod. I'm feeling very dumb. Why is this not working? It seemed to be in a slightly bugged state, but never mind. A 1 inch by 1 inch. Is that inch or foot? I should know. That's inch, right? 1 inch by 1 inch calzone, basically. Definitely heard that word before. No, it's not. Alright, I'm gonna have to do the end of the puzzle then. Fine. The selling point is they are microwavable pizza flavoured snacks for children, but they are abysmally unhealthy and solely made for quick consumption. Inch is inch. Okay, that's not so bad then. So you consumed 17 square inches of pizza roll, not 17 square foot of pizza roll, because that would be quite concerning. Still, I'm keeping you, aren't I? You need to You need to get your exercise. Okay, that's just reset a bunch of this. So yeah, the end of the puzzle has to be done again. Oh no, wait, hang on. Oh, we are spared. Because the thing that was blocking us was the ice. And that's already been melted, even if the heater... I had to turn a bunch of the heaters off. Like, the ice isn't going to reform instantly. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was. $609 calories of pizza roll. What, in total? That's not so bad. I mean, I agree with you that's not ideal, but... if it really is a one-off, this isn't like... this isn't a daily occurrence. I don't think you should be too worried about that. Now, if it was 17 times 609 calories of pizza roll, that would be a different matter. Then I would be inclined to agree with you. 1 gram of sodium as well. Well, you'll be losing sodium when you're exercising. So again, I'm sure it'll be fine. Pizza roll is basically a tiny pizza-filled version of a Cornish pasty, but crispier and more snack-sized. I see. Well, you are making it sound rather nice. Right, we're back up here finally. Right, we can complete the last spire, and then I don't know what. I really don't. This is the thing that we've been being guided towards doing the whole game, and I'm still unclear on what happens. Like, something about the arrival will happen, will signal the arrival or something. The arrival of what and where? Something about portals appearing as well, that I believe they said. They're great, but horrid for you. There we go. Looks a bit heart-like, doesn't it? But with 3 valves.
Can it be true? Could this really have gone as I planned? You have kept the mission.
She sounds really happy, but as she said at the beginning...
You can prepare for the assembly.
Oh, the assembly, that was it. That's the thing, she sounded really happy that that happened, but you've got to remember she told us at the start of the game that she was dead and these were just recordings. So she was just creating a series of recordings that were going to be triggered at specific times, and then she was just acting there. She had no idea if we'd actually achieve it. It just seemed like the, seemed like the thing to say on the recording.
We were told to joyfully anticipate the arrival. Tanner and 2 others arrived, and we were joyful beyond measure.
Beyond measure, that word again.
Powerful. We obeyed.
Powerful? That's the first we've heard that word used.
They knew so much.
So they were wise?
They were not patient with us. Not kind as we were. We were not used to force. We were peaceful.
That is very strange.
Yes, we were peaceful, but we were not weak. It troubled us to serve someone as though they were greater than us. We were taught that all were equal. And then, suddenly, oh, Martha killed one of them.
First we've heard that.
Oh, that moment is burned in my mind. Quiet Martha. She could not talk about why. That day, nothing was ever the same.
Interesting.
Turner and the other arrivals also changed. They took Martha and... Panic engulfed the realms. There was blood. There was death. It was... I have no words for it. Only 12 keepers remained. Of the arrivals, only Tana remained.
So that's only one other that was killed. So, Quiet Martyr killed an arriver. The remaining 2 arrivers apparently killed Martyr. We haven't confirmed that, but it sounds like it. 12 keepers remained, and 1 arriver, Turner, remained. 21 grams of fat, 90 grams of carbs. They're basically filling station food. Have a great afternoon. I'm going to take care of the stuff around here. Okie dokie. You take care, Georgius. I just realised that there was a much easier way I could have gone back. Oh well. I'm committed now. Have a lovely look, Georgius. So, if this was such a terrible thing, why has she gone to such lengths to try and get us to arrange another arrival? Hey Prince Alex, it's lovely to see you. How are you today? How are you, Your Highness? The music that was originally here. That was very good, but also kind of ominous. A little worried what we're going to see. Wait, hang on. We know exactly how many keepers there used to be, don't we? Wait, are we Martyr? Because we never really got to the bottom of why we appear to have no memories. And, you know, like, were our memories erased? Were our, were we created anew? Could it be that she somehow managed to take Martyr's body and restore life to it, but at the expense of all memories or something? I was told to look out for the scratch marks. Apparently there were scratch marks leading from where we woke up, or leading from somewhere in the Swan, which is where we are now, back to where we woke up, implying that the pod we are in had been moved. Yes, so this is where the pods come from. And I said before, we know exactly how many there used to be, because we have their names written down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I know it's Martyr there. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I think it's 20 in total. Let's do a recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I made it 20 twice. So 8 of them died. 8 of the keepers died. Maybe they can recycle. Maybe they already had machinery to recycle the dead, and that's what happened to us. I wonder. Is Turner on the list? No, so the arrivers didn't have their names written down. Interesting. Back to building my streak. You're very kind. What am I doing here, actually? Ah, this wasn't open before. That's what I've unlocked. Ooh.
Turner was afraid, I suppose. He became our master and ruled us with a heavy hand. We learned about masters and their weapons.
What am I looking at?
Were subdued, then lost. And Turner, rather than intent on the assembly and completing the mission, became intoxicated with this power. Our angry god. He would command and we would comply or die. His
Blimey.
every need. Only one of the arrivals could prepare for the assembly. Our mission was in peril,
Right.
resting in Turner's distracted hands. I lost hope.
So that's why. That's why we're preparing for another arrival. This place is very, very different to the other places we've been. The other places had that sort of, well, at least to some extent, that sort of neo-Victorian look about them, and they were very well maintained. And, you know, that, like, things like just the general set dressing was beautiful, beautifully ornate. This place, not so much. This is very much looks like a haphazard warehouse, which is interesting. Oh. Okay, so it's going to take me off to somewhere completely new. Looks like it. How have you been anyway, Prince Alex? Right. Conveyance pod. Where can you take me? What is that? Usually it would tell me where we're going, right? But it just says... yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not telling me where we're going. Alright. It's supposed to be a surprise, I suppose. Well, hopefully I won't be in danger. I am wondering what happened to Turner. I'm guessing Turner didn't survive. Or if they did survive, they've been somehow incapacitated. Probably for a long time. And their angry god may not be happy.
A plan came to me. An ingenious plan. I refined it for many weeks. I became close to Turner to use him. I made a wall in my mind for my own sanity, befriending the monster for the greater good. I learned much. I wept much. So, after many weeks, I told my comrade Jacques the truth that I had learned. I knew he would be afraid. He provoked the others, and they all lashed out at me. I convinced Turner to use his weapons to force them into the deep sleep. I told Tara we could wake new ones from the threshold, and I would mentor them to be more compliant as his servants.
So the deep sleep does wipe memories, so...
I gained Tanner's praise with this idea.
I could be her.
And his trust. Right up until I sedated him.
I am
and
her.
placed him in the threshold as well. And so I was alone, keeping and preparing. Not for days, or weeks, or even months, but for years. Everyone was gone. The embrace could only be awakened, the assembly could only occur, only with the power of an arriver. But now Tanner was in the deep sleep.
I could be Turner, but I think I'm her.
And you will learn the truth now. The truth of sleep. The truth of the mission. The truth of keeping.
Hey Tato, lovely to see you.
And the truth of Tanner. Our assembling and ending.
This is the devs, right? Who...
Threshold keeps the keepers. The cycle of keepers. Blank new keepers to be mentored. The 7-year cycle. But I will not go to sleep. I will keep my memories. I will not forget.
Because that looks like... I could be wrong. I might be completely wrong. Maybe they're actors. But that individual in particular, I wonder if that was one of the people that made the original Myst game. Like, I can't remember which way Akanar and Cirrus was. I think I'm thinking of Akanar. I think he might have been... Or is he the one that played the father? Well, anyway, I could be wrong. I have a terrible memory for faces. But I wonder if this isn't the devs that they then wore Edwardian clothing and posed for photographs, which they then put a sepia filter over. Anyway, so they have refrigerators, it would appear. Yes, so the reason why I think I'm her is because we now know that the deep sleep wipes memories, but on top of that, we saw that one of those pods had been dragged all the way from the Swan to the location where we woke up, but there was no body. If she never went to sleep, then where is she now? I mean, it's possible that I'm wrong. It's possible that her body is going to turn up somewhere as a skeleton or something like that, but I wonder if she didn't get into the pod and then woke up and a recording of herself played. I like all the art. But what is this place? Like, clearly somewhere where people were sleeping, but like... And they've got a stove here, but what was the function of this area specifically? Shame we can't open the fridge and see if there's any surviving food. Like, why have beds here? They already had sleeping quarters. How are you, Tato? Externally locked. Coupling module hatch 0. Right, so arrivers. Are we in space and that's to dock with something? System overwrite 100%. Interesting message. I'm cold. Oh dear. You poor little Tato. I understand that Pikachu's rather warm this time of year. She has the opposite problem. Is this going to double up as a spacesuit? Just a minor note. Spacesuits aren't designed to be used underwater and as a diving suit, and diving suits aren't designed to be spacesuits. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you could, in terms of just keeping you alive, you could probably do worse. But one of them is designed to handle 0 to 1 atmospheres of pressure, and the other one is designed to survive many atmospheres of pressure. Yeah, there's no water in here, even though we heard some splashing. Yeah, we're in space. This is a colony ship, as I theorized at the beginning.
You have experienced the revelation that I had. The grand realms I thought were everything are nothing but firmament, structures. But yet, they held everything dear to me, except my own memories. I have kept those.
I mean, I was expecting to be able to see the realms from here, but I can't. So why did they... Oh, hear how the sound is muffled. That's more evidence that we're supposed to be in a vacuum. This Irish filmmaker not only directed the 1992 Thriller The Crying Game, but also penned its Oscar-winning screenplay. Who is he? Find out in the ads end in about 2 minutes. I don't know. Since we're on ads, there's a couple of things I want to do quickly. Oh, shame that the music stops. But yeah, I kind of overran on... Well, I did overrun on time a bit. So, I didn't get everything done that I wanted to. Where was I going? Just replying to a couple of messages while we're on ad break. Right, that's one. And for the other one, we can have the music because it's on a different computer. Huh. Rightio. Right, are we back from the ad break? We're back. Neil Jordan wrote the Academy Award-winning screenplay for The Crying Game, which he also directed. I did not know that. I had heard of it. I don't know much about it. Wasn't it supposed to be set during the Troubles? That is the, that most unfortunate period when Britain and Ireland were... well, Northern Ireland was the subject of quite a lot of paramilitary action, and the relationship between Britain and Ireland wasn't fantastic, shall we say. Well, this seems to be the only way I can go. I guess I'm supposed to go over there. Yeah, if I keep going around, I just end up there. I still don't see the realms. Like, I thought they'd be in little domes or something out in space. But I don't see them yet. And how is this going to lead to a new arriver? I'm not saying it isn't, I'm just genuinely wondering how it is. Why am I being offered the option to use the cavitation hammer? I think that might be a bug. I don't think it's supposed to say that. I think it's supposed to prompt me to use the ladder. Oh no! I could be wrong. I'll have to see. Coupling module 02. Do I want to lock it or unlock it? With next to no sound, it's kind of hard to tell, isn't it? Listen to that drone. The atmospheric electronic music. I'm going... Hang on, are there other options? No, there aren't other options. I can't go to coupling module 0, for example, which I'm pretty sure is the one that we saw before. Okay. So I'm still a bit unclear on what it is that we've done here. Or what? Or how that affects our the immediate situation we find ourselves in. I mean, I was kind of expecting this to open up or something. Or a ship to dock with it, or something along those lines. But there's no evidence of anything like that. Okay, this only can go up or down one level. There don't appear to be additional levels.
Imagine the first time I saw such a sight.
Well, we're experiencing it now.
I cannot describe what happened to
for
my
the first
body.
time.
I did not think Tana would lie, but there's no preparation to face what one has never contemplated, never imagined. I was distraught and opened and offended and freed. I did not have words to describe to you. And now, I've returned here many times, and still, I do not know where the firmament is. Can we ever?
I am a little unclear on what she's using the firmament to mean. Like, traditionally, firmament meant the heavens. Because I used to believe, like, the sky was being held up, and various other things, like... I know one particular belief was that there was celestial fire that surrounded the known universe, like as if the known universe were a sphere, and the stars were just little pinpricks that had been opened up through which we could see the celestial fire, which in some ways is surprisingly close, and in other ways a very, very long way off. But anyway. Is that how she's using that word, or is she using it differently? I'm trying to get a good look through there before I open the door. I don't want to open the door and find a xenomorph just staring back at me or something. Ooh. Funky electronic music. Sort of music makes me think we're in for an interesting time. Okay. Realm Embrace sequence complete. I have no idea what that is. Oh, that's a model of the spire thingies that we completed. Okay. What am I looking at here? Ah, are these where the arrivers came from? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I assume this isn't the deep sleep. And what do those symbols mean? Oh, I think they might be just printer's ornaments. I was looking for meaning in them. If those are printer's ornaments, then I would take slight issue with the graphic design in Victorian, and as far as I'm aware, Edwardian graphic design. Ornamentation always supports meaning. You don't just put things on the page because it's pretty. You put things on the page because it helps you understand what is being presented, and then you make it pretty because, you know, you have standards. You want to make it pretty. So, for example, you might have a divider between two sections of, say, a piece of text. That is carrying structural meaning. But then if you're going to have a divider, rather than just having it be a boring little line, have it be, you know, pretty, swirly, flowery, etc. And that's where I would take issue with this. If that's what they've done here, then I don't see how those two printer's ornaments at the top and the bottom carry any meaning. Or help us understand what we're looking at. Hi, could I point something out before you go further? Yeah, go ahead. Also, lovely to see you, Jeffress. How are you? I'm wondering now if I've reached some sort of point of no return or something. Perhaps I should save. That might be a good idea. Perhaps I'm gonna be forced to make a choice. Wait, what? Why can I not make more than... Yeah, save. Can I not have more than 2 saves? That seems unlikely. Alright, if that is the case, then fine. I'm still technically in the Swan. Hi, I've been enjoying the playthrough. I'd suggest exploring a bit more before you go down. Okay. Could you be just slightly more specific? Because I had thought that I had explored everything. I mean, admittedly, I didn't look at every single monitor, but I thought I had, by and large, explored everything up to this point. Yes, in this room here with the screens. Okay, thank you. There's stuff to read. I'm trying to read that ASCII art and I can't quite. If it stayed still, I might be able to. Oh, R Swan something ever. R Swan 00. R Andre. Andrew 03. R Swan 00 and R Andrew 03. Ah, this must be it. Philadelphia Review. The majestic starship Atelis embarks on a stellar odyssey. Firmament initiative ushers in a new era of human ingenuity and optimism. Indictment of Ohio officials, etc. Can I not zoom in a bit more? Okay, I guess not. Paris, May 7th. Hang on, do we have the year? 1910. In a dazzling display of human brilliance and determination, the colossal starship Atelis has torn from the bonds of Earth, marking the commencement of a pioneering voyage to safeguard humanity's future. The Firmament Initiative, a grand coalition spearheaded by esteemed visionaries such as Andrew Carnegie, Mary Curie, Nikola Tesla, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, unfortunately. Jules Verne and Karl Marx seek to propel mankind into a new epoch of cosmic exploration and preservation. Well, Karl Marx would certainly explain the communist angle here, although I would say, wasn't he a fair bit earlier than that? I thought he was 19th century, not 20th century. The prodigious Atellus, a vessel unlike any other, is designed to traverse the celestial expanse on a multi-generational journey. After over a decade of monumental effort, the so-called Great Lift triumphantly concluded, using gargantuan rail rifles to thrust 16 million tons of indispensable cargo into the celestial abyss. Bearing the Greek name for incomplete, Atellus was assembled and commissioned under the unwielding hone, or is that bone, the future advancements, unwielding hope probably, the future advancements will augment and perfect the vessel as it journeys through the cosmos. I think they may have cut off the bottom there, like where the letter P should drop down. I believe the text is repeated in a more readable form below. Is it? Oh, here. Thank you. This seems to be different. I'll read through that, but not yet. One thing I'm wondering... Oh, hello, Alexei. Lovely to see you. I hope you're well. So here's a question. Note the date. This newspaper was released on Sunday, May 8th. And they're talking about this spaceship that was launched on May 7th. That was going to safeguard humanity's future. Okay. Are we supposed to be on that spaceship? Because if so, how did they get a newspaper from one day in the future onto the spaceship after it launched? I suppose they could have sent more supplies up. You know, it could have hung around in Earth orbit and then left. But that doesn't sound like what they were describing. It sounded more like they just built a massive railgun and railgunned it into space. Gracefully propelled by sophisticated steam propulsion. No, it's not. Steam propulsion system and massive sunlight sails, the Starship Atellus is poised to advance the marvels of technological progress. It might be based on steam in the way that, like, a nuclear reactor uses steam. They have a nuclear reaction which creates a lot of heat that then causes water to evaporate, which then turns turbines. But this is not steam powered in the Victorian sense. Because they would have to collect all that steam and recondense it no matter what. Like, otherwise they're just losing steam to space. And that's no good. Also, to state the obvious, they're obviously not using, you know, some sort of fossil fuel like coal to heat the water either, because that would run out pretty quickly. Within the Atellus, the Keepers inhabit massive realms, carefully preserving the ship's cargo. Sequestered and protected, these individuals adhere to a strict regiment, safeguarding their duty's integrity. The groundbreaking threshold sleep chambers sustain the Keepers' well-being, allowing extended periods of suspended restfulness. Newly awakened Keepers, having freshly renewed minds, are re-mentored by experienced Keepers, entering a seamless transfer of expertise across generations. The Keepers' unwavering dedication is a testament to the Firmament Initiative's foresight, crucial to the Starship Atellus mission success. Oh, that's why there was a picture of Karl Marx in the other room. The crew, a select group of skilled astronauts, will give their lives to maintain a watchful eye on the unknowing Keepers and the Atellus. Stationed in the ship's fore, they will be refreshed... Hang on. Let me read it again. The crew, a select group of skilled astronauts, will give their lives to maintain a watchful eye on the unknowing Keepers and the Atellus. What do you mean, unknowing Keepers? So you put them all to sleep deliberately so they wouldn't remember anything and they wouldn't know what Earth was, and it was all part of the plan that they wouldn't understand what's going on? Why? Stationed in the ship's fore, this must be where we are, they will be refreshed with new arriving members on rare occasions to ensure the mission's smooth progress. As the journey nears its end, a final crew, known as the Arrivers, is expected to join the mission. The Keepers... Well, how are they arriving? Like, how are they getting more people onto the Atelis? Because if the Atelis travels, 100 light years, then whoever's going to replace them also has to travel 100 light years. And if they can travel 100 light years, and they faster and with enough, fuel and food and water, etc., to keep them alive all that time, then why don't they just overtake them? Amazon delivery. The Keeper's lore has been embedded to inform them of the final arrival, so Keepers and crew can, at long last, join in preparing the Atelis for its ultimate destination, a magnificent and welcoming new Earth. Yeah, that's a bit dangerous. I mean, this is a problem that maybe humanity may have to deal with one day, but the point is that although we can work out a lot about planets from a long way away, we've got kind of good at that. I don't think we can determine enough about a planet remotely, even today, to know for certain that it would be suitable for human life. We may be able to work out things like the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, but that alone doesn't tell you enough. You could get on the planet and find out that there's some very, very good reason why it's inhospitable and not suitable for humans. Some reason why, for example, life as we know it wouldn't be able to survive there. We couldn't, for example, plant crops there, for example. Let us all join together in celebration of this historic event as we bear witness to the dawn of a new age of exploration and wonder. With the launch of the starship Atelis, humanity takes its first steps towards the stars, and we stand united, ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Godspeed, Starship Atelis. May you carry us towards a brighter tomorrow. Behold the Starship Atelis, a majestic marvel of human ingenuity, embarking on a boundless voyage across the cosmos with advanced steam propulsion, intricate solar sails, and a revolutionary threshold sleep chamber system, housing the valiant crew and keepers on their grand multi-generational odyssey. The other articles are probably readable, but the text is smaller and blurred. Oh, hang on. The one on the side is the one that says others held for perjury. Like, that looks blurred. It looks like we're not supposed to read that. But the Firmament initiative unveils secret of the Atelis design, its vision for the future. Paris, May 7th. As the world marvels at the grand launch of the Starship Atelis, we delve deeper into the astounding engineering feats and the brilliant minds that made this extraordinary journey possible. The Firmament initiative, a collaboration of, though we miss a bit, success of its mission, its state-of-the-art propulsion system powered by the latest steam technology, allows the Behemoth to travel the vast expanse of space at previously unattainable speeds. The ships, Mr. Bit, composed of highly trained astronauts, will oversee the operation and maintenance of the vessel. The Keepers, on the other hand, will reside within the realms, diligently preserving the precious cargo of... then it's cut off. Management and waste recycling have been meticulously designed to support the life aboard the ship for the entirety of its voyage. As the Starship Atelis embarks on its celestial... then we miss a bit. England embraces their new ruler. Excuse me? Oh, I suppose they mean, like, the king has died, and there's now a new king, probably. Oh, and so, is this... there's no printer here, so this was printed out in the past and just left here. So by the time this was left, it was already 1972. So that's 62 years later, approximately. What order is the date in? It says 0902. Is that the American order, or the American month day, or the British day month? Introduction. Welcome to the Firmament Initiative, a multi-generational, multinational, privately funded endeavour designed to preserve and secure the future of humanity through interstellar exploration. Your participation, dedication, service to this monumental mission is acknowledged and appreciated. Classified. Please note that due to the nature and duration of this mission, this information is exclusively for the crew's perusal. Keepers must remain... what does that say? Must remain something concentration on the preservation of the cargo without distraction. Sated? That doesn't make sense. Well, I think we got the gist of that, even though we're missing a word. Founders: Andrew Carnegie, Mary Curie, Karl Marx, Nikola Tesla, Konstantin, the name I can't pronounce, Tsiolkovsky, Jules Verne, Starship Atlas. Background: the great... Do you think those are people that the developers, whose works the developers were reading when they made this game, their inspiration for it? Background: Phase 1, the Great Lift. Phase 1 centered on sending crucial Earth-based elements, minerals, flora and fauna into orbit. The founders utilized their considerable resources to launch massive projectiles into orbit using 12 colossal rail rifles situated at various mountainous locations on Earth between 1895 and 1907. Over 6,000 containers of cargo were transported into space, totaling more than 16 million tons, including technology for the assembly of the Starship. In 1910, the mission commenced with the Atlas gradually accelerating towards a nearby star system via rudimentary steam propulsion solar sails. Right, so yeah, they sent the newspaper up, presumably, at some point. Although 1910 was the year that the newspaper was written, wasn't it? Yes. The augmentation. The Atlas initiative possessed very limited acceleration capabilities. The mission's design relied on future advances in space technology to enhance the Starship's during its journey. The founders correctly anticipated that future technology would be able to catch up with and upgrade the Atlas, potentially redirecting it to a different star system if a more suitable one was discovered. The timing and frequency of such augmentations are uncertain, but attachment and docking ports were incorporated in anticipation. Right, so when I went through the docking ports, that entered a different ship. So this ship... Right, that's where that newspaper was... Why that newspaper's here, because I'm on a docked ship. This was not part of the original Atlas. A ship has been docked here the whole time. This must be the ship that Turner and the other two arrived on. The Starship Atlas features artificial gravity generated by the vessel's rotation. To create the required gravity, cargo realms are positioned further from the center of the rotation, resulting in structurally weaker vessels susceptible to stress during the intense acceleration. Consequently, the ship is also designed to retract and secure the cargo realms during periods of high acceleration. It is expected that this would be necessary deceleration for arrival or for a final upgrade. Hang on, a final upgrade what? Final upgrade providing... Okay. Unanticipated thrust. The Keepers were prepared for these events with a narrative combining the arrival of trained personnel required to engage the Embrace and the actual arrival of the Starship Atlas at its final destination. We're still completely unclear on why it is they thought it was necessary to make the Keepers unaware of what was going on. They made some vague reference to, oh, we don't want them to be distracted in their work. Like, that just makes no sense. Like, generally speaking, I think it's regarded as more motivating to know why you are doing something. Just strikes me as bizarre. Why the secrecy? Acknowledging that a journey to even the closest star system would take centuries or millennia, the founders designed the ship's maintenance to be performed by keepers. Keepers reside in large cargo realms, rotating and out of sleep chambers. Are rotating in and out of sleep chambers that enable them to live for the mission's entire duration. The sleep process gradually purges memories, starting from the most recent. As a result, keepers are limited to a maximum sleep duration of 12 years before being awakened and returned. Oh, and retrained. Right. Well, we don't know if things happened normally, but if things did happen normally, then that would, I mean, we can read apparently, we haven't lost that ability. That would imply that 12 years have taken place since Turner arrived, at least 12 years. Could be more. And we know Turner arrived in the 1970s, so the earliest this could be now is the 1980s. As a result, keepers are limited to a maximum sleep duration of 12 years before being awakened and retrained. Mentors facilitate the retraining process by passing on their knowledge and preparing for sleep. To minimize social complications among keepers, a tightly controlled and rigorously maintained protocol was established. Keepers are not informed about the mission's nature, and instead taught that they existed within 3 small realms, comprising their entire universe. Questioning was discouraged, and all necessary answers were provided through strict cultural indoctrination. Again, why? Why? You're making it sound like the mission's real purpose was somehow darkly sordid and you didn't think any human being, even one that you could train yourself from a position of having no memories, would be willing to go along with it. But that isn't the case at all. I just don't get the point. Why not tell them what they're doing? The crew, a small group of trained astronauts, is accommodated at the ship's fore. The crew's primary responsibility is to remotely monitor the keepers and ensure the smooth operation of the mission during launch and subsequent upgrades. The crew has access to the threshold suspension chambers, but their usage is limited to approximately 1 year. Right. Suspension periods exceeding 2 years pose memory loss risks, which could compromise the crew's effectiveness. Consequently, the crew members are expected to live out their lives in support of the mission. It is of utmost importance that the crew remain separated from the keepers to prevent interference with the keepers' strictly dictated culture. The only exception to this segregation is the arrivers. I wonder if segregation was the word I couldn't read before. Was it in this document? Yes, keepers must remain segregated. Concentrating on the preservation of the cargo without distractions. That is what it said. Okay. The arrivers. As the mission progresses, it is anticipated that the frequency of the upgrades will increase due to advancements in space travel engines and speeds. The final stages of the mission will likely occur rapidly, necessitating the arrival of the final crew known as the arrivers. The Keeper's Law predicts the arrival of this group, who will require access to the realms to prepare the ship for acceleration-deceleration. Only members of the crew, specifically the arrivers, are authorized to prepare the Starship Atellus in this manner. Notes: detailed information and specific procedures for all aspects of crew tasks and protocols can be found in volumes 1 through 22 of the Firmament Initiative Protocol and Procedure. Digital versions are available on Disk A2. Okay. usdb.search/dbr crew in double quotes .names double quotes Turner .format screen details terse details :terse. Okay. Well, I mean, the usdb.search seems to imply that they already had URLs, even though this was the 1970s. Which, I mean, you know, they could have invented that earlier. I just note the similarity in form. Although the exact form of that string I don't recognise. Like mixing quotation marks and normal text like that. I wonder if after the colon it's supposed to be a parameter, and then that ends up being a function call, and then the dot is like accessing a member of a return value implicitly, but I'm guessing. That doesn't quite figure with what we're seeing though. Multiple found. Select from Turner, Arnoldo, S, Turner, Lewis, Dharma, Turner, Maris DT, Turner, Susiana, Turner, Willie Barra, Moore, Turner, Lewis, Dharma. Employment history, 2100 to 2105. So yeah, we're way past the 70s and 80s now. Ensign Class C, Nexus Protectorate Corporation, Karachi Inc. Division. Oh, so I wonder if part of this, the whole themes here, is trying to imply that these neo-Victorians were a bit more communist in their thinking, but then as time went on it became more corporate, more capitalistic, and that's partly to explain why that's supposed to partly explain why Mr. Turner ended up the way he did. 2106 to 2115, Corporate Secretary Officer, Firmament Industries, Eastern Field Storage. 2110 to 2117, Lieutenant Junior Grade, Firmament Industries, Incorporated, Military Police, Ensign Class C, Space Forge Division. 2118 to present, Ensign Firmament Industries Incorporated, Security and Amelioration Duty, Cruise Ship Nicola, Lottery Draft, Atelis, Retcon and Augment. So he just got picked by a lottery, I guess? Carceral Record. I'm not sure what carceral is. 06 to... Oh, so that's... what, June of 2105? Bias, Motivated Offence Level 2. 3 terms served. September 2109, Insubordination Level 1. 2.4 terms served. February 2016... Sorry, 2116. Misconduct Level 3. 9 terms served. And December 2117, Contract Breach Level 4, 1 term served. So what we're supposed to get from this, I think from the whole like military police, we're supposed to get the idea that he's, you know, someone that's accustomed to using force when he deems it necessary, and from all the disciplinary action, I suppose we're supposed to conclude that this individual wasn't exactly wasn't a perfect angel. But he got picked by a lottery draft anyway, and they went ahead with it. I just want to look up what carceral means. Belonging to a prison. Oh, it's an incarcerated. Ah, so he's been to prison. Huh. Right then. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Thank you for that, Jeffress. Well, we certainly understand a lot more of what's going on. Do we go right or left next? I guess we're going right. I'm still half expecting to find a body of various people, such as Turner or the character that's been
scanning.
Been helping us all this time.
Biosignature confirmed.
We must be Turner.
Lewis Don.
I figured it out.
Earth equivalent date 2231-3-17.
Right.
The United Earth Space Agency sends its sincere gratitude and greetings, Ensign Turner. Mission protocol requiring your presence and approval is now satisfied. thank you for your preparations to Firmament Starship Atlas. No further human intervention is required. All additional assembly, preparations, and flight control will be handled autonomously by me. Final full engine upgrades to Starship Atlas now commencing. Stand by for space folding and transport to the Tau Ceti system.
Wait, you're just warping us here? So 20... All worlds must collide, triggered every mental speech. That wasn't a mental speech. What was I thinking? Yeah, it had to be us, because we read about how only... We read several times about how only a member of the Arrivers would be able to trigger the Arrival. Or the Embrace, or whatever they were calling it. Basically the starship arriving at its destination. Only an Arriver could do that. And we know that the other two Arrivers were killed. So I don't know if we got her name, but our mentor would have had no... If she wanted the ship to arrive, the only possibility was to... this would be interesting in VR. The only possibility would be to have Turner's memory wiped and have him then be mentored by her. Although, slight complication. Blimey. Uh-oh.
I was never given a choice.
Oh, that must be her.
The Firmament protected, restrained, and used us. You
What's
understand
keeping
that?
those bones in place? There's no flesh.
And I have not given you a choice. I placed you in the threshold 7 years ago.
Only
You
7.
slept and forgot. I sat alone and remembered.
Why did you could have survived
You
7
woke up.
years?
I lied to you
Why didn't you?
and used you. You see how it feels. You arrived and pulled back the curtain of this monumental illusion for me. Now, I thought I knew so much, but you astonished me with how small my world was. And as you held my awe, my veneration in your hand, you closed your fist around us. We were like children, and you tore our small world apart. I have thought of this moment often as I waited. I wish I was alive now to see your face.
Why aren't you?
There is a part
There
of
should
me
have been
that hopes
food.
you are enraged. Oh, it's not reasonable, I know. These violent thoughts never get us very far. You were our god. And then, you were our monster. Do you feel some kind of remorse now? Can there even be atonement without choice? It doesn't matter. At the very least, I used you to provide the way home for the keepers.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to get to. What's
My
the point of
comrades.
Colony's ship
My family.
if everyone's dead? Or are the 12 keepers still alive but in deep sleep? Oh, you would be one of them, so it would only be 11.
But
that's
now,
not enough
maybe you can do more than just
to maintain a population.
One choice remains for you, and I will not beg a man such as you, but I will ask. Do something good with this second life you have been given. Remember the keepers. Those you looked down on and mocked. Those you erased.
Oh, erased.
I
Not
forced
killed.
you to travel their path too.
So you're the only
Learn
one
their
that died?
names, understand what they accomplished.
But I didn't learn their
Miracles.
names. I could have. I saw some of them written down.
Now you have become
He
the
didn't
most
try
important
very hard
keeper
to
of
make
all.
me learn all
The
their
keeper
names.
of all these memories. You sit on the verge of the awaited destination. A new world, a new home. When you arrive, you can choose to tell the stories that only you now know. You can tell the tales of the keepers of this grand spaceship. How we worked
Not many of them.
hard to save.
I know you
All of
existed.
these,
I know that, but I don't have any
including-
specific stories.
even you. Adieu.
Had you? How did you make all those recordings anyway and have them triggered at the right time? You're following me again.
Starship Atlas has now been upgraded and is fold engine enabled. Prepare for acceleration and full jump to the Town City system.
So you could have done this at any
questions
point.
you may have will be answered upon arrival, which will occur in approximately 7.4 hours.
These
New
dates
life
don't add
awaits
up.
you and your fellow Atlas comrades on planet Firmament. Thank you for your service to the
Planet
Firmament
Firma
Initiative,
of
Ensign
the
Turner.
Firmament Initiative. Presuming you would have used the folding technology to get here, how do you account for the difference between, what was it, 2118 when you left, and the date now, which is 2213? That's almost 100 years. Like, okay, 7 of those years you were asleep, and an indeterminate number you were acting as their god and then their monster, but that doesn't account for almost 100 years. Blimey, so that's the game. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. I enjoyed it. It was good. So, what would I say about it? It was Myst-like in a good way. You know, that you were learning how to use the technology that was already there. I don't think it did as good a job as Myst or Riven did, but I've never played a game that has. Cyan did an incredible job of Riven in particular. But it was good. Most of the puzzles felt like they actually, maybe that's being a bit generous. Many of the puzzles seemed like they made sense in the world and they weren't just obstacles being put in our way for no reason. I don't think I watched a whole lot of it, but it felt like the Maze Runner. What's Maze Runner? But it was fun. Some of the puzzles were good, some of the puzzles were frustrating. That crane bug was unforgivable. I stick to what I said about that. Movie and novel series, I think. I've only seen the movie. I don't know how I feel. I mean, I'm kind of getting a bit tired of this Cyan narrative device where the whole story gets told from the perspective of one or a small number of like in-world people who act as like a narrator, and that's how you end up learning about the world. Like, again, Riven didn't do a perfect job, but it did a much better job in terms of Like, you were reading a handful of diaries of different people with different perspectives on what was going on, and then you also had a lot of environmental storytelling that was, like, backing it up. Things like those pictures at the beginning of Myst, which didn't have any sort of written explanation. Not beginning of Myst, I apologise. Beginning of Riven on Temple Island. Those pictures you saw, which didn't really have any explanation, like written explanation, but you could look at them and think about what they probably meant. That was done really well, but this game did more or less what, what's it called? The last original IP, I'm trying to remember, the one where you get abduction, was it? No, it's not abduction, but it's a word very similar to abduction. That game that I can't think of the name of right now, because it is about being abducted by aliens. Again, you just had like the perspective of a handful of people that were basically just being fed to you as the only account of what's going on. I mean, it's fine as a narrative device, but I think I've seen it enough. The game was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Still, as I say, I do have another game lined up. I'd have liked to have read that more. The point about AI assisted content, I would have liked to have read that. Never mind. A lot of backers. Blimey, they're still on A. No, that was it, wasn't it? It was abduction, not abduction. You get abducted by aliens. But the game was called Abduction, I think. Yeah, that was their previous IP. Did a very, very a different story, but they did a very, very similar thing that you were... In fact, in Abduction, they had more people. So in that sense, they did... It was less one-sided. But, you know, it was still all notionally from one side of a conflict. You were just getting their account of what was going on. And in Abduction, you did at least get to meet some of those people in the flesh. Whereas in this game, it was all just this narrator. Your mentor. Not a fan of that particular narrative device. I feel like it's not that it's bad, I just feel it's overused. Wasn't there someone in chat who said their name was in there? Oh, yeah. That was Pengy, wasn't it? I should have checked. But they're already on S. That's a shame. Oh, well. But yeah, it was good. I suppose what I'm getting at, if I were to try and just summarise my review, this was a solid middling entry into like the Myst genre. It wasn't a new Riven by any stretch of the imagination, but it was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I played the game, but for that crane puzzle. That crane puzzle was unforgivable. So yeah, okay, I better swap out to the next game, I guess. So if you'll bear with me a second, let's quit this. If it wants to let me. Hello? Wait, what? Oh, I have to use controller, do I? There we go. That's that game ended. Let's start the next game. As I say, I'm going into the next game even more blind than I normally am. Usually I've only seen like the first 5 minutes of the game. I have seen nothing of this game at all other than the main menu. So it's going to be entirely new. I am going to change the on-stream information. And then I need to split the recording and then we're ready. Hang on, how do I spell this? Neyyyah. That's it. So this one came requested by quite a number of the people that came to watch the previous game's stream. I say quite a number, 2 of them. That's quite a number for me, to have 2 people independently to approach me and say, hey, could you play this game next or in the near future? That's uncommon.